Hey, welcome back to the Debt Sucks podcast. I'm Ben Matthews, bankruptcy attorney, professional debt translator, and your guide through this financial apocalypse we all call adulting. Last episode, we built the foundation: stability, clarity, buffers, breathing room. Because you don't attack debt while financially grasping for air. That's how people quit halfway through and end up discouraged or right back where they started. But today, we move from stabilization into recovery. Welcome to the Financial Recovery Lab. This is where we stop reacting to debt and start dismantling it. Segment 1, why this is a lab. I call this the lab for a reason, because this isn't emotional anymore. It's experimental, strategic, measured. You're not panicking, you're testing, adjusting, optimizing. Debt payoff isn't about intensity, it's about systems. And today I'm going to walk you through the 4 tools we use inside the lab: the rock pile, the hammer, the pile driver method, and how this compares to snowball and avalanche. So let's start at the bottom. Segment 2, the rock pile. Before you pay off a single extra dollar, you build your rock pile. This is your full debt inventory. Every balance, every minimum payment, every interest rate. Nothing hidden. Nothing rounded down. No, I think it's about. We list it all because debt chaos thrives in vagueness and power starts with visibility. What goes in the rock pile? You list credit cards, personal loans, car loans, student loans, medical debt, IRS debt, collections, family loans. Yes, those count too. Everything. If you owe it, it's in the pile. We want balance. We want minimum payments, we want the interest rate, and we want the status. Is it current? Is it late? Is it in collections? Why? Because once you see the whole pile, it stops feeling infinite. It becomes finite. Heavy? Yes, probably, but defined. And defined problems get solved. Most people avoid this step because they're afraid it'll feel worse. But what usually happens is the opposite. They go from "I'm drowning" to "okay, I see it." And seeing it reduces fear because uncertainty is always heavier than reality. Segment 3, the hammer, or where we find the money you swore didn't exist. Hey, now that we've done the hard part, we've faced the numbers. You did your brutally honest money breakdown. You saw the balances, you saw the spending, you saw the subscriptions you apparently signed up for during an emotional spiral in 2022. So now that debt is visible. You find the weapon. The hammer is any money you can throw at debt beyond minimum payments. Not fantasy money, not when I win the lottery money, not once my cousin pays me back from 2017 money. Real money, found money, freed up money, added money. This is where the level up money plan starts doing actual work, because once clarity shows you the leaks, level up helps you redirect the flow. Where hammer money comes from. There are 3 primary sources, and none of them require selling a kidney. Number 1, expense cuts. Not punishment, optimization. This is the low-hanging fruit your breakdown already exposed. We're not trying to make life miserable. We're just tightening the ship. Some examples include subscription cleanup, insurance renegotiation, eating out reduction, a little bit of lifestyle trimming. You're not canceling joy, you're canceling waste. There's a difference. Joy is intentional, waste is automatic. And automatic spending is where hammer money hides. 2, cash flow optimization. This is level up strategy territory. We're not cutting, we're restructuring, aligning due dates with paydays, refinancing high interest accounts, adjusting payment structures, even temporary spending pauses. This frees up breathing room without feeling like punishment. It's like reorganizing your garage. Same stuff, but now you can actually move around without stepping on something sharp. Number 3, added income. Strategic, not forever. This is acceleration money, not lifestyle money. Side work, overtime, selling unused stuff, bonuses, tax refunds, temporary bursts of force. Not I'll work 90 hours a week forever. Just short-term pushes to build momentum, because intensity works best in sprints, not marathons. Quick example. I had a client come in convinced he had 0 extra money. None. Ben, there's no hammer. I'm tapped. We did the brutally honest money breakdown anyway. Here's what we found. $180 a month overpaying on insurance. $95 in subscriptions, including a gym membership he referred to as aspirational. About $200 in eating out that he's described as just convenience, but looked more like a second grocery budget. Now here's the important part. We weren't looking for perfection. We weren't trying to magically create thousands of dollars because the hammer doesn't start big. Sometimes it starts with $50, sometimes $100. That's not small. That's a beginning. That's momentum. Then we moved into level up mode. He sold an unused ATV sitting in the garage collecting dust and regret. Total hammer, about $600 a month, plus a $3,500 lump sum from the ATV. Same income, different awareness, different strategy, game change. Because that's the truth about the hammer. Most people don't need more income to start. They need more visibility. The breakdown shows where the money is leaking. Level Up shows you how to redirect it. And the hammer, it doesn't have to be huge. Even $50 applied consistently, even $100, changes direction. Because debt doesn't fall from dramatic moments. It falls from steady force applied over time. And the hammer, no matter the size, is what starts knocking debt down. Segment 4, the pile driver method, with stability protection built in. Now we apply force. But first we do it the debt sucks way. Stability first, aggression second. Because attacking debt while life still has access to your throat, that's how people derail halfway through. So here's how the pile driver method actually works inside the stability blueprint. Step 1, minimum stay. You keep minimum payments running on every debt. No accounts falling behind, no credit damage, no chaos reintroduced. Protection stays intact while we build pressure. Step 2, the hammer builds, but doesn't strike yet. All that extra money we created, the hammer, instead of immediately throwing it at debt, we temporarily redirect it into the shit happens fund. Why? Because life has terrible timing. You decide to get aggressive about debt, and suddenly the transmission dies. Your kid needs braces. Insurance deductible hits. The water heater explodes. Life loves to interrupt progress. So before we start swinging the pile driver, we build a thicker financial helmet. We stack hammer money into the shit happens fund until we have enough to knock out one full debt in a single strike. Not chip away, eliminate. That's when the pile driver drops. Yes, mathematically, this can cost a little more interest on paper. Avalanche purists will twitch slightly hearing this, but emotionally and structurally, it's stronger because you're doing two things at once. You're protecting yourself from life's curveballs and preparing for decisive debt elimination. You're building your offense without lowering defense, and that combination keeps people in the game long enough to win. Then the strike happens. See, once the fund is ready, you take the shot. You wipe out one debt completely. It's gone. The minimum payment disappears. Your confidence spikes. And that freed up payment rolls forward, joining the hammer, building the next strike faster and faster and faster, like a financial wrecking ball gaining weight and speed. That's the pile driver. Focused, relentless, efficient, but protected. When people spread extra money across 5 debts, progress feels invisible. Balances barely move. Motivation dies. But when one balance disappears, momentum explodes. Confidence rises, and the plan feels real. And because you built the Shit Happens Fund first, you don't lose progress the first time life throws a punch. That psychological safety net matters. Because debt payoff isn't just math. It's emotional endurance. And endurance requires protection. Segment 5, snowball versus avalanche versus pile driver. Or please, just pick one. Now let's talk about the classics, because once you get into debt payoff conversations, people get weirdly tribal about methods. Like we're discussing religion or barbecue sauce. You've probably heard of snowball method, smallest balance first, momentum builder. The avalanche method, highest interest first, math optimizer. Both work. Both have merit. Snowball wins psychologically, avalanche wins mathematically, meaning snowball keeps you motivated, avalanche saves you the most interest. So naturally, the internet has turned this into a cage match. People arguing in comment sections like, if you don't do avalanche, you're financially irresponsible. Meanwhile, the person asking the question is just trying to figure out how to pay off a Target card and sleep at night. Here's my professional opinion. Pick one, or blend them. Seriously, you're allowed to customize your escape plan. My preference? The pile driver, because it blends both. You choose to target strategically, sometimes smallest for motivation, sometimes highest interest for efficiency, sometimes the most annoying payment for emotional relief. Like that one $63 medical bill in collections that shows up on your credit report every time you try to do something adult. You wipe that out just to clear the psychological static. The method is flexible, the force is constant. Here's the important part. Do one. Here's where people mess up. They spend so much time researching methods, debating methods, color-coding spreadsheets about methods that they never actually start. They're method shopping like it's Netflix. Snowball looks good, but Avalanche has better reviews. Hey, meanwhile, the debt is just sitting there collecting interest like, take your time, I'll wait. Listen, my feelings will not be hurt if you don't use my preferred method. Well, I'll need a minute. I might stare out the window dramatic. Hey, I'll recover. What matters isn't that you use my system. What matters is that you use a system. The real rule. Focus beats perfection. Intensity beats indecision. Consistency beats optimization. Because debt doesn't disappear from picking the best method. It disappears from sustained pressure over time. So choose Snowball. Choose Avalanche. Choose Pile Driver. Blend them like a financial smoothie if you want. Just don't choose paralysis, because the only wrong method is doing nothing. Segment 6. What happens when this starts working, or when momentum becomes addictive? See, here's the fun part, because up till now, this has felt like work. Structure, systems, restraint. But once the lab gets rolling, things accelerate fast. First debt gone, you free up that minimum payment. It rolls forward into the next target. Second debt falls faster. Hammer grows as minimums disappear. Now you're not just swinging the hammer, you're swinging it with reinforcements. You go from pushing a boulder uphill to watching it roll downhill on its own. And that's when people have that moment. You know the one. They log in, check their balances, and go, oh, this is actually happening. And here's where it gets even better. Because once you get on a roll, once you've knocked out maybe a third, half, sometimes more of your debts, you gain flexibility. You don't have to keep every dollar aimed at debt forever. You can start redirecting part of the hammer strategically, not irresponsibly, strategically. Maybe you split the hammer. Part keeps fueling the pile driver, part starts investing, part builds a house down payment, part funds a dream vacation. Because here's the truth nobody talks about. Debt payoff shouldn't feel like financial prison. It should feel like progress. And progress includes seeing your life expand, not just your balances shrink. See, this stage is powerful emotionally because now you're not just escaping debt, you're building life. You're seeing accounts grow instead of just disappear. You're creating future memories while still dismantling past obligations. It stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like momentum. So yes, early on the hammer is fully weaponized, focused, relentless. But later, once stability is locked in, once progress is undeniable, you earn the right to redirect part of that force toward wealth, toward goals, toward living. Because recovery isn't just about eliminating debt. It's about rebuilding a life that feels bigger on the other side. And when you hit that stage, that's when the plan starts feeling heavy and starts feeling powerful. Hey, let's get real for a sec. The Debt Sucks plan, it's awesome. It works. But not everyone has the time or the patience to chip away at their financial Mount Everest. Maybe you're drowning right now, like creditors calling your grandma, paycheck gone before it lands, sleepless nights count to drowning. Sound familiar? Listen, you don't have to white-knuckle your way through this alone. Instead of spending years battling debt $1 at a time, I've got you. Bankruptcy isn't a failure, it's a fresh start. and sometimes hitting reset is the smartest thing you can do. At my law firm here in South Carolina, we take the time to listen to your story and help you figure out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you. No pressure, no judgment, just straight answers and real solutions. And if you don't live in South Carolina, don't worry. I can connect you with a trusted attorney in your state. Wherever you are, help is closer than you think. So if you're ready to stop the stress and start fresh, visit debtsucks.info to share a little about your situation or call my office for a free consultation. Let's find your path forward together, because sometimes you don't need a plan, you need a damn lifeline. Let me be that lifeline. So let's recap the Financial Recovery Lab. You build the rock pile, full visibility. You create the hammer, extra force. You apply the pile driver, focused elimination. And you stay consistent. No drama, no perfection required, just pressure over time. Because debt doesn't fall from intensity, it falls from sustained force. Hey, before we wrap, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trying. Seriously, I know this stuff isn't always fun to face, but the fact you're here, learning, taking steps, that matters. If this episode helps you, if it gave you clarity, if it made the plan feel doable, do me a quick favor. Hit like, subscribe, follow the show, leave a review. Share it with someone who needs it. Repost it to your socials, or send me a question you want covered in a future episode. Every like, follow, review, and share helps this message reach someone else who's quietly stressed about money and doesn't know where to start. Adulting is hard. Debt makes it harder. But recovery makes stability feel powerful. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.